better than the other estate. Okay, so you also ask yourself why some Abuja estates appreciate more than the other. This is what we are going to be having a conversation on today, so that you can find out how to identify estates that will double in its value. So value can mean different things, but if you stay with me in this live session, you will gain clarity on how best to identify estates that will definitely appreciate in value. Welcome back to another live section with me. My name is Esther, and I help you buy real estate here in Abuja. Safe, profitable, and genuine real estate opportunities, whether it's a house or a land or an apartment. What have you? What are you seeking to buy? Then I am your go-to person. I'm creating a series, and this series is how you invest best and right. Because sometimes people think they know a lot, but trust me, sometimes when you listen to some things, especially when we talk about and share about real estate opportunities, you will gain more clarity and know how to invest. So I can hear myself and I can see myself. So if you're jumping on my live, let me know where you're watching me from. And if you're also seeing me for the first time, my name is Esther, like I said. And if you're already seeing me, you've already known me. Thank you for sticking by and also joining my live section. I just needed to gain clarity on. Okay, great, great, great. I can hear myself, so we are good to go. So, what are the things you pay attention to identify properties that will appreciate in value more than the rest? You want a situation where you buy or invest in a location that will constantly appreciate. Nobody wants to throw his or her money to the winds and expect magic to happen. And that is what we are going to deliberate on. So if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, do well to hit the subscribe button, because definitely I'll constantly bring informative videos like this. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is pay attention to infrastructure. Yes, infrastructure always creates wealth. All right. So what are infrastructure? Infrastructures are the things that drives development in a location or in an estate. Because we are talking about an estate today, so we are focusing on estate. Okay, so infrastructure can be roads. It can be just creating access road from one point to another. It could be lights coming to a location. It could be a drainage system. It could be security. You see that you can come there safely and go out. It could be water. There's water in the environment. The truth is that infrastructure attracts people. People get to believe in that estate or in that environment. And when people start getting to know that location, it creates a lot of demand. So when there is demand, what happens? It affects the price. But when all these things are not seen in an estate or in a location, it feels dry. Nobody, even if you want to come and do something there, because nobody has done it, you don't have the morale to go there, because you want to feel safe going there. You want to ensure that at least something is happening. So infrastructure is one of the major drivers of estate appreciation. So focus on that. Pay attention to that. Maybe not focus, but pay attention to estate that they are big on infrastructure. It will definitely appreciate that estate. All right. So we have a lot of locations that infrastructure helps the location to appreciate. All right. I would always share about the story of Wuye, where nothing was literally happening in Wuye until there was a connecting bridge from Wuse that opened up Wuye. So see that this is an infrastructure. Road is one of the major drivers that brings development in a location. So you don't have to wait till that road comes. You can go there knowing that government is moving towards that location. And when you go there early, you invest early, and eventually when that location appreciates, you know what happens. You can tell, answer, and let me know. So the next point is the person who is developing the project. Okay. Some people just want to own estates and nothing is happening there. Others are craving for development. They have an idea on what they want that project to achieve. So not every estate is developed the same way. Let's come to the understanding of that. So pay attention to people who just sell land. That's all they want. They just sell land. But also pay attention to other developers who don't want to sell land. They want to develop the location. They have an idea on what they want to achieve based on the estate. So they create access road, they create drainages, they bring lights, they landscape the locations of the ground, they instill security. They also add recreational centers like what we have now in Abuja. And when they say they are going to do this, they go ahead and do that. So it's not just about what they say, but as they say, you see that they are trying as much as possible to ensure that they do what they say. So that also drives value in that location. And that also means that sometimes you see two estates sitting side by side. One is selling very expensive and the other is not. And people will prefer to come and pay expensive. Why? Because of what we just talked about. That the person in charge wants to bring life to the estate, not just to sell land. Okay, the next point is documentation. Now that you've seen the infrastructure, you've seen the that development or the developer's word is manifesting, then the next thing is the documentation. Don't ignore that. Documentation matters in Abuja real estate market. You don't want a situation where you invest in a location that you're not supposed to invest in. So pay attention to good title. And so we always sell FCDA or RFO titles right here. Properties with recognized title often attract more buyers. Some people will tell you, oh, if it's not R of O, I won't buy. If it's not C of O, I won't buy because there's something with title. So don't turn deaf ears to it. It matters greatly. All right. And sometimes FCDA, R of O, or C of O properties are way more expensive than the rest. The fourth point is what I'm going to talk about: population growth. An estate only appreciates if people actually desire to live there. You can have every good thing there, but nobody wants to come and build. But imagine if one person builds, another person just craves to build. That is what drives population in that location. And when people are saying, oh, people are building now, everybody wants to come and set up something. So people, when people ask questions like, who are moving in this location? What are the businesses coming here? Are there shops? Are there plazas? Are schools opening up? And that's where commercial plots comes in. Sometimes people buy commercial plots in an estate because they want to set up either a school or a church or a mosque or something that will bring people to the estate or to the location. Right? Even hospitals and government presence. Trust me, when a government presence is in a location, it drives value to that location. All right. And an example to explain this is along the airport road. So along the airport road used to be, in fact, one of these times we heard a story of someone who said, I knew when airport road all the way from airport to town, city center, was just one lane road. Every other part were bush all around. But today we have close to one, two, three, four, like four main, two main roads, then service lane, two service lane. Okay. So now people may not have known that this airport road will become what it is today. Some people bought, some people said, oh, it's far from town and all that. Any place you see that is far from town and you want to reap the benefits of real estate investment, that is the location you have to pay attention to. You don't have to wait till that place is very much known, like what happened along the airport road. Everybody now wants something there. Okay. But imagine people who bought when it was super affordable. Those are the people that enjoy what is called appreciation in the property. Okay, so demand is one of the biggest drivers of value, like I mentioned. When a lot of people start craving for a location, then the prices of that location will increase because that is simple economics. All right, so pay attention to that. The fifth point is supply and demand. Okay, scarcity always increases value. Sometimes when you are selling a property, just notice that some people say, oh, sold out, sold out, sold out. Maybe in real time it's not sold out. They just feel like a lot of people are here and there's not much plots are not available. So they reduce so that the next time they are bringing it back to the market, they've increased the price. Okay. So areas where land becomes increasingly limited experience massive growth. Let's take, for example, Asokoro. What are the major things that drove value or attracted so much value in Asokoro? One is the seat of power, the government house, what we know as government house. That's where Aso Rock is and all that. But far more than that, those are the places that started developing in Abuja. So they attracted, for example, when white people were coming to Abuja, they wanted somewhere that looked like where they were coming from. So they started setting up locations like Asokoro, Meitama, in that time. So it gave it a face that this is luxury location. And people who could earn it or who could afford it started buying at that time. All right. So supply, whenever there is supply, when there is a lot of land in a location, the demand may not be much. But when there is scarcity, a lot of people strive. They feel like, oh, if they miss this opportunity, that's gone. So everybody wants to own something there. And that's the beauty of real estate. And like I said, at the point where everybody knows about a location, don't worry, that location has casted. Like that's casted. All right. I would always remember a situation where I went to see my prospect. He wasn't a client then. I went to go and choose a plot for him. All right, in one of our properties. And we met someone who bought there when he was selling way affordable. And that was his first time to come in to see the place. That was his first time. And it was amazing. So we got to ask him, so how much did you buy this? But he not said he bought it for 5 points. This was about 5 million naira. And at the time when we're now selling it, it was selling for 11 million naira. All right. And he now said, oh, I wish I bought two plots. That is how it always happens. All right. So the supply, all right, when people seek for a location, they want it. All right, that location will definitely increase massively. Okay, that's why also luxury investors continue to pay attention to locations. Like even till today, some people still want to live in Asokoro. Even till today, some people they're looking for land in Meitama. And by the way, we have properties selling in Asokoro and Meitama in case you need any. Just there's a number around the description. You can always send me a message or call me, then I'll give you details on that. Right. And the locations I've been calling, we also have properties there. So the last point you have to check so that you can constantly buy or invest in properties that will appreciate is buy before everyone else. Sometimes I don't know how best to explain this. All right. I would always say that sometimes when people talk about Asukro, some people say, oh, it's expensive. And they will now tell you, come and invest in a boss. And you now say, oh, it's bush. So you see that sometimes there's misplaced priority. When Meitama was bush, you will still not go for it. All right, now you seems very expensive, and now you have an affordable property that you can take advantage of, so that it could become the Meitama of tomorrow. You still say it's in the bush. So you see that when it comes to Abuja, one thing you have to understand with Abuja real estate market is it's different from every other state. All right, development moves. It moves. That's why we have less traffic. There's no congestion. They try and limit congestion because they want people to move into various phases, various locations. With that understanding, you have to understand that, oh, let me go to this location early. Buying a safe estate with a strong title. And over a period of time, what happens is that when people realize it, or when people realize that, oh, the development is now here, you would have cashed out big time. Apart from that, you would have decided, oh, let me hold on to or let me sell. That is how to enjoy real estate investment, especially if you're starting out as a newbie or you've invested before or you are considering to start. Always buy early. Sometimes when I talk about pre-sale opportunities, pre-sale price, that is the time. All right. And when you follow me, you always hear this because whenever there is an opportunity of a new property or a new price, a new location, I always come and share This is selling at a pre-sale price. It's like it's selling below the market value. That is the best time you buy. Because when you buy and eventually the price starts increasing small, 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 you have nothing to lose. Even if you choose to pay with using payment plan, nothing is lost on your part again because you've secured it and you start enjoying it. All right. That being said, we also have properties in emerging locations like Apowasa. We have also Sherity Kabusa. These are solid locations that have major government presence already there. The earlier you invest or start looking towards it, especially if your goal is tied to those properties, then the better. You don't have to wait till everybody now realize, oh, Charity is the place, new place now, or Apowasa is the place. Meanwhile, you've invested and you're resting already, right? Bearing in mind that this topic we are talking about is that we want a situation where people invest right. You don't want a situation where you just invest because every other person is investing. You invest with a clear understanding on you want your money to appreciate. You don't want a situation where you invest and year in, year out, nothing is happening there. All right. And I've listed out points to explain what you should look out for before investing in locations that will drive value to your money. And the first thing I talked about is infrastructure. Pay attention to the infrastructure growth. And the next one is who is developing that project. It matters greatly. The third one is pay attention to the title. Don't say, oh, this place is too good to be true, and you go ahead and pay without asking for the documents. Please don't make that mistake. The next one is population. Sometimes it feels like a lot of people are moving towards this location. And how to always explain this better is that, like I said earlier on, Abuja market is not like any other market. The system does not encourage everybody to be in a place. It encourages that people spread. And as people are spreading, those places that are spreading to, development is getting there too. So check with those traits, you know how where people are moving towards. The next point, the fifth point is supply and demand. When a lot of people are interested in a location, the price will increase. All right. So meanwhile, you would have bought when it was quite very much affordable, when nobody knew about it. Then the last point is buy before everyone else. Okay, so if you have questions regarding this topic, do well to ask me in the description, or there's a number in the description you can reach out to me and I will answer you. All right. So the question you always need to ask as I summarize this video is, don't just ask where is everybody buying. Ask where would everyone want to buy in 5 years. Like I said, the system is simple. It's created for people who have foresight, all right, and where opportunities often begin. Some people have bought properties in places that were and eventually development in there and they started enjoying that location. Okay, so if you're needing help or if you need help investing in Abuja right here in FCDA properties, solid title, all right, with your budget based on what you're seeking to achieve, starting from 5.8 million naira all the way. All the way. All right, there's a number showing in the description, or you can comment invest in the description. I can take it off from there. I'll first of all get clarity on what you're seeking to invest, then we can get it off from there. If you found value in this live session, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as I come your way again to bring information like this on how you can invest safe in Abuja. Don't forget to subscribe because I'll constantly bring up these updates. And the earlier you see them and take advantage of it, the better. Thank you for sticking with me and see you in my next video. Bye.